Hello my friends and welcome. So Russia lost one more ship. It happened in the Black Sea, but this time not near to Crimea. Let's go to the Russian territory of the Novorossiysk port. This place is called Thames Bay and there was the accident. So here we go with the video. It is the drone that Ukraine used to target the Russian military ships. And this is the huge ship, as you can see. The name of it is Olenegorsk Miner. The main purpose of the ship is to transfer the Russian military vehicles, even tanks. They use the ship quite a lot to transfer the goods to Crimea after the Kerch Bridge attack. As you see, no one is firing towards the drone, everything is standard, even though there are big lights shining in front of the drone. So it was quite a calm early morning time and the drone went into the very nice spot of the ship, just in the middle where it caused the maximum damage to this ship. Obviously, the signal is lost after impact. Yes, I know that the image is not very good, but here's the place of the drone collision. You can see there are lots of the constructions where Russian soldiers live, or the other rooms with the very important systems of this ship. In the morning, we start to receive the videos from the scene showing the huge bang of this ship. You may see that the tow ships were connected that were towing this suffering ship to the port. The other picture shows again the huge bang of this vessel. And one more screenshot, this ship is really big. After all, Russians towed the ship to the port, so it didn't sink. But I would say that Russians were just lucky because there was nothing inside the ship. It was on a mission to go back to Novorossiysk port, after Russia had used it to transport their military across the Kerch Channel. We have already got the satellite images of the ship final destination, the port. As you can see, the ship is still in one piece. Russia managed to save it. However, I'm sure that it is disabled for a very long time. They're just unable to repair it fully over there. With that bank angle, for sure there is the big hole inside the ship. So what Russians may do in the future, they may temporarily fix the ship by welding and then move it to the bigger port where they have docks. For example, in Sevastopol, but it's very dangerous for the ship to be over there. Actually, this particular big landing ship belongs not to the Black Sea Marine Fleet, but to the North Sea Fleet. Before the war started, Russia managed to bring it to the Black Sea, just to help with the occupation operation. We have even the page in Wikipedia dedicated to this particular ship, so this ship was built in Poland during the Soviet times. But Russia continued to use it after the Soviet Union collapsed, so the official name is BDK-91, Big Landing Ship 91. It is the biggest landing ship that Russia actually has. So it was all the time in the North Fleet, but took part in Russian invasion of Ukraine. And today we have the update that the ship was hit by Ukrainian drones. The crew capacity is 87 sailors. Potentially the ship may carry 500 tons of cargo plus 225 troopers. It is a very serious machine, but it's not the first time that Russia loses their landing ships. We have one more picture of the ship. As you can see, there is the rescue ship just nearby. Probably it performs the operations to rescue the ship itself and also find the crew members. Well, I might say that it's the big humiliation of the Russian Marine Fleet, because Ukraine now doesn't have the active military ships in the Black Sea. But we have the drone boats and also anti-ship missiles that cost much less compared to the Russian ships, so we have the new concept of war, where the big ships might be eliminated by much smaller weaponry. As for the Novorossiysk port, you may see that it is kind of the secured place. There are mountains around, so it's kind of hard to perform the maneuvers during the attack on this port, so drones targeted the ship somewhere over here. Locals also filmed a couple of the explosions in that area, saying that the Ukrainian side targeted the special oil line that is used to refuel the ships. Actually, I'm out of clue whether this information is correct. But what I know is that Russia declared that they shut down all of the Ukrainian drones in the morning attack. So maybe they used the big landing ship to shut down the drones using its body. Just right now we have the report about 3 of the explosions near to the Kerch Bridge. Not sure if the Kerch Bridge itself was targeted, but there is also the report that the Russian Russian oil tanker was targeted 30 nautical miles away from the Kerch Bridge. Russia alerted everyone in that area about the massive Ukrainian drone attack, and they're saying as usual that they've shut down all of the Ukrainian drones. Well, anyways, we'll see the result in the morning, but from what I know that Russia installed some sort of the floating barricades that may actually block the way for the drone boats to reach the Kerch Bridge itself. Alright, more information is coming just right now about the possible one more ship that was targeted by the drone boat. It is actually the Russian commercial oil vessel. The last location of the ship is marked around 30 nautical miles away from the Kerch Bridge. The Kerch port officials say that they cannot comment on that issue. The last destination of the ship was in Turkey, and it was going there from the Rostov-on-Don, probably delivering the oil. As you know, many countries banned the oil supplies from the Russian Federation, but not the Turkey. However, they reduced the supplies from the Russian Federation a lot. The name of the vessel is Sig, and it was going to Kafkas port of the Russian Federation. Honestly saying, I am not supporting the commercial ships to be hit by the drones, because it may escalate the situation dramatically. Russia has aviation in Crimea, so for them it's quite easy to target the commercial ships that go to Ukrainian ports. Well, not very easy, but much easier than for Ukrainian side. Plus, there could be some international sailors on board, so those ships should be stopped by sanctions, not by the drones. The Ukrainian officials already confirmed that Ukrainian army has success on the southern part from the Bakhmut city, as well as in Zaporizhia Oblast. Here you can see the dragon teeth that Russia put as the defense line to stop our tanks. So our drone operators already may spot that line using the standard Mavic drones. Today, China officially agreed to join the summit that will ongo in Saudi Arabia, and Russia will not be presented over there. The summit is about the future of the war in Ukraine. There are lots of the countries that will be represented, also from Europe and from the south. The main goal is to build the steps for the future peace. Ukraine will be presented there as well, and we're gonna insist that we need all of our territory back. Meanwhile, the German Wealth Resource says that Germany slows down the delivery of some certain types of weaponry to Ukraine. We are speaking about the Leopard tanks, air defense systems, RST, and also Marder armored vehicles. But the other weaponry from the German side goes according to the plan. I think it's not the big deal. It is connected to the maintenance. I don't think that Germany slows down it for purpose. By the way, my friends, I was just scrolling through the news, then I saw this picture again, and there is the plum of oil over here. Probably you can see it. Yeah, it is for sure. The fuel usually stored at the very low levels of the vessel, so it was the deep penetration. According to Reuters, Russia is planning to invest around $100 billion to its military this year. It is the record number, and Russia will take the vast part from its budget, so it will not be able to build more roads, new schools, and other infrastructure. Everything will go to support this stupid war. Plus, Russia wants to get more artillery shells from its allies like North Korea. Remember that the Russian Defense Minister Shoigu went to the North Korea for some sort of the negotiations. They negotiated about the rocket ammunition and the ammunition for the Russian artillery because Russia struggles with that. Based on this information, I do expect that this war may continue for quite a long time. Also, according to some of the Western resources, Putin is waiting for the elections that will happen in the United States of America in 2024. Without the American support, Ukraine will struggle in this war. And I'm sure that it would be almost impossible to return our land back without the Western help. So the White House administration and the United States politics in general really matters for us as well. Putin waits for cancellation of all of the military support for Ukraine. In that case, he may announce the new massive mobilization, trying to take the vast part of Ukraine under his control, including Kiev. Alright, once again about the tanker ship, we have two of the news. Definitely it was hit by something, and the second one, I changed my mind about it. Actually, it was working for the Russian military. It even went under the sanctions for working for the Russian military. I asked from my followers on my Telegram channel to give me some of the proofs for that, and here we go with them. So you may find this vessel Sig in the sanctions list. Yes, not all of the countries applied sanctions on the Russian commercial fleet, but I'm sure that the crew members on that ship are all Russians. I don't think that the international crew will work on a sanctioned vessel. It is the bad notice in their resume. The ship is leased by the Russian company that has the office in St. Petersburg, and it performs the operation for the Russian army as well. It was even one of those tankers that Russia used to supply their group in Syria, so definitely it is the legitimate target for Ukraine, because this commercial vessel is implemented into the Russian military infrastructure. You may see the parallel here with the Kerch Bridge. Russia mainly built it for the military purpose, and it's their main supply route to Crimea and southern part of Ukraine. But at the same time, it is used as commercial infrastructure for civilian cars, lorries and trains. This is how Russia creates this civilian shield to cover their dirty war. 100% that they will accuse Ukraine for targeting just the commercial vessel. No one will search deeply the information about it, but my followers helped me, so thank you so much for it. Now we have the official confirmation that Russia started the rescue operation to save the crew of this vessel. Probably the vessel itself, the port officials already told about it. Also, there was the intercepted radio communication published in the social media groups. It sounds very real, so crew reports that everyone is okay, but the part of the ship went under the water, water reached the waterline. The main engine and technical compartments are totally flooded, so the vessel is unable to continue its trip using its own power. Crew reported that they have the bank for around 2 degrees and the vessel is empty, so in case it goes down, it will not bring the severe devastation to the wildlife and sea life, it's better to say. I wonder if this photo is real. It was shared on media resources, probably it was taken from the nearby ship, because as you can see there are many ships around in this area. Latvia and Lithuania are sending more units to reinforce their border with Belarus. As you know, there is the threat from the Wagner army, which is now deployed near to the border with Poland and Lithuania. Let's go to the international news. French officials confirmed that there was the meeting between Wagner and Nigerian military. Just recently, military in Nigeria took the power. It was not a democratic way of taking power, it was the military coup. So now for sure they will start to work with the Wagner army, because we have the information coming from the Wagner official resource that they start to hire again and they want to send more troops to the African countries, including Niger. However, the president of the neighboring country Nigeria proposed to his country's Senate the military intervention plan to Nigeria. I haven't received the information whether this plan was voted or not, but there's the chance for the new war to be started. So here we have Niger and this is Nigeria. Niger is very important for France, by the way, because the uranium from the Niger is supplied to France as the petrol for the French nuclear power plants. Speaking about the possible resources if war starts, let's go to the satellite image. You may see that Niger is mostly the deserted country, so the vast part of the population lives on the south, very close to the Nigeria border, and Nigeria, as you can see, is the green country. Because of it, Nigeria has a much larger population compared to Niger. Actually, it is the most populated country in Africa, with population of 215 million people. In Niger, there is 25 million people. So if we speak about the human resource, if we may call it, during the wartime, obviously Nigeria wins. Plus, Niger is always in the top poorest countries in Africa. Nigeria is never in that list. I'm not going to compare their armies, it takes time, but you may understand the comparison of those countries. As for the military map, there was no update for today, so hopefully for the good update for tomorrow. My friends, now press the like to this video, and also if you want to support my job, there are some links available in the video description just below. Special thanks for my Patreon supporters and also sponsors of my YouTube channel. Thank you for your awesome support. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.